What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is She. If you're new here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and come join the family. And if you're a returning subscriber and you've not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Yes, and join the family. So guys, today I'll be talking about my experience during the interview in the US Embassy in Kenya, Nairobi. And I'll just say it's the most commonly asked question, but remember, maybe my experience is not your experience, but there's a similarity in between. Yep. So my first question is, what's your name? You just state your name. Let's say Rachel Wanjiko Kimani. And then another question they can ask you is, how old are you? They need to know your age. And then you'll say, let's say 30 years old, 40 years old, or whatever years old. And then another question, this one I was asked myself, is which year did you graduate high school? For me, I said 2017. And then another question that comes with that is, did you go to college? And then you'll say, yeah. Which college? You'll say, let's say Jomo Kenyatta, KU or Jomo Kenyatta. You not say KU. You'll say, oh, what's the name? Jomo Kenyatta University. Yeah, you'll say Jomo Kenyatta University. And then they can ask you, for me I was asked this question, which course did you do? I said accounting and finance. And then they asked me after, because now you're moving to the United States, will you still continue with the course or will you find another course? For me, I was like, yeah, I'll continue with the course because I have passion in maths and all that stuff. And they were like, okay. And then another thing, let's say a married couple interview and a single person interview is different. Okay, it's not that different, but it's different because if you're married, you can be asked question about your marriage, but if you're single, you can't be asked something about marriage. So it differs if you're married or if you're single. Another question is, do you have any children? Remember when you are filling that form, you fill, let's say, if you have children, if you went to school, all that stuff. So they're just confirming that, is this true you? Is this you? You're just confirming your identity. Do you have children? You say yes, no, yes, I have 5, yeah, no. And then another question is, why do you want to go to the United States? Let's say when they ask you, why do you want to go to the United States? Just say maybe you want to go there, study, work, be a better version of yourself, of some. Just find a good answer. Like, I'm just going to work, study, help my family, and be a better version of myself. And then another question. This one, I think it's asked everyone. What's the name of your host? You must know your host's name. Let's say your host is Rachel Kimani. You'll say Rachel Kimani. Another thing is, which state does she or he live? California, New York, Kansas, all those states. You must know the states which you're going, where your host lives. And then another question, for me, I remember was asked this one. What's the address of your host? Because let's say you're stranded somewhere and someone will ask you, do you know the address you're going? So that's why at the US Embassy, they really ask you the address. So you must know the right address of your host. And remember, when they type the name of the host, like all the details of your host come. So if you lie, because what I'll say during the interview, just tell the truth. Don't lie, because they have everything and they know everything. So just tell your truth. Any truth will give you a visa. Yeah, your truth will give you a visa. Just tell the truth. Don't lie. Because let's say if you don't know and you start saying, if you don't know, say you don't know. Because if you start lying and saying 210, 219, and it's 301, they'll be like, do you know where even you're going? Another thing, don't start explaining yourself. Answer what you have been asked. Let's say you've been asked, Do you know the address of your host and you don't know? You start saying, oh, I don't know, I remember. Don't start explaining yourself, because in the process of explaining yourself, they'll find another question and ask you. So just answer what you have been asked. Another question is, when did your host move to the United States? You must know 2019, 2010. When did she move? And then another question about the host is, what does your host do? You must know, what is she doing there? Is she a nurse? Is she a doctor? Is she an accountant? Is she in finance? You must know the work your host is doing. So when you really need to prepare for this interview, because if you don't prepare and practice, let's say your host was your friend and you're not asking him what's your address, what's your name, what do you do, you must know all these things, because you never know what the embassy will ask you. You never know. So you just need to really prepare good. And if you prepared and you don't try, answer what you've been asked and correctly, I'm sure you'll be granted a visa. Yeah, and that's it for today's video. If you have any question, comment down below, or any videos you wanna see from me. And that's it for today's video. Please, if you've not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.